I'm not. And I was outraged at the time. And everybody else was just walking around. Well, you bet they would. How would you think the Mexicans would feel? Who cares? When you gave a bunch of money to the Native Americans, did you ask how Mexicans would feel? I'm done with this. And Cory Booker is a representation of the wrong kind of politics. He walked around talking about love and talking about he was finna save puppy dogs who was outside in the cold. Y'all remember all them stunts he pulled? I don't like stunts anyway. So I've always had a problem with him. I don't like stunts. So he is a representation of the wrong kinds of politics. Remember, he said way back when we was talking too much about capitalism, way back during Obama's, I think it was Obama versus Mitt Romney, the second term. I don't want to hear no more about that. I don't want to hear no more about that. We saw Mamdani talk about the stuff that he talked about, free buses, getting the rent down and stuff like that. And people said all the stuff he said, and Mamdani was smart enough to have a good answer for it. See, the thing is, if you have a good retort, it's okay. If you don't have a good retort and the people get on your phone who pay you and say, hey, stop talking about this, then you behave differently. Hey, if you can't exist outside of this, because we understand we need Citizens United overturned, and I think that has to be a part of what we fight for in terms of reparations, because we cannot get the politicians that we need if the politicians are all bought by somebody, because we have legalized buying of politicians in this country. So I do believe that we have to pivot in a certain way in terms of campaign finance reform too. But you, sir, the people who have been willing to do this, the people who have been willing to be bought to the highest bidder, y'all have to leave. So that's why he's one of my biggest losers of this past year. So I'll go on to another group of people who are also my biggest losers. A couple of these is the whites. I'm tired of people like Newt Gingrich. I'm tired of people like him too. The whites who come on and talk about the very non-racial Kenyan white president who didn't do nothing for us, who accommodated white people at every turn when he shouldn't have, who had a beer summit after Henry Louis Gates got dragged off that porch by that white cop. Stop talking to me about how he was a major factor in creating a much more racist and much more dangerous America. You all are racist monsters. Because here's the thing, if you hate him just because, in a certain sense, Obama did, but it's only because of how racists reacted to him. He didn't do nothing to earn it. It's not like he got in there and reparations did the right thing. You shouldn't have been upset if you believe in justice. But we know you don't. He didn't do nothing to earn that. The reason that he created that is because there's always a reaction to anything that looks like justice for us, even if it's a mirage. So if it looks like we're getting a foothold, you all get mad and your fangs come out and your wolves, and all of a sudden you don't even look human no more. We understand what's happening. So this is a backlash, but it's not a backlash to a man who was to a first quote unquote black president who was doing something specific or was coming out saying, screw white folk. This is a man who had white grandparents, who had a white mama, and who created white multimillionaires and billionaires. That's what he did. And he eviscerated our wealth. And y'all still come out and say Obama was the problem. I bet you go look at Newt Gingrich's portfolio and that thing is multi-million dollar. And he's still talking about white grievance. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. All these white folk who've been talking, these mediocre white, y'all ought to be ashamed of yourself. You do not know shame. And some of y'all should be introduced to shame. And that's why y'all are my biggest losers, because you're my biggest liars. There's no bigger liar than Negroes try to do, they don't do it well. Like Clyburn started babbling when he started telling a lie. These people do it well, and they drill it down into people who don't know better. Yeah, Obama did do that. He was outside giving out Obama phones. No, he wasn't, you dodo bird. And it's all gonna get worse with AI. They're gonna make up. Remember when the snap happened, they made up all these videos of ADOS women getting food stamps. I got 12 kids. I live off my food stamp. Made up all these racist tropes. Y'all remember that? That's what we have to live with now, because these people are inherently dishonest. And I said inherent because there's no way that it's just a hiccup at this point. I'm talking about not white people, these white people who are in power. It's not a hiccup. It's not a tweak. It's not a coding problem. There's something in y'all. I'll just say anything to maintain power. I don't care. I'm going to maintain this racialized caste. If I can't say that your brain is small and they've proven that that's just a bell curve trash, if I can't say that, I'm going to figure out something else to say. And I don't care if it's true. So biggest loser was Newt Gingrich and all the white men like him. let me go to one other person. James Carville. And this tweet captured it perfectly. These Carville New York Times op-eds were months apart. He's gone from demanding Dems play dead to demanding Dems be Bernie Sanders. A good reminder that thumb in the wind politics with no principles will change their tune when others do the hard work of shifting the political environment. That's why I don't pay people no mind. Because if you get enough people pushing, you don't have to pay anybody any mind. Like, you look around right now, fam. Take it off of Carville for just 1 second. You look around right now. And I see all these people. They may not say ADOS because you know what it is. You know what it is. Ain't nobody ever gonna talk about. They don't want to talk about us. You know what it is. But I see all kind of people. Black Americans. I don't just see blacks no more.